Vénganse, vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a tomar hoy, hoy, hoy.
Welcome, friends, to another episode on this frequency. I'm Natalie.
I'm Rickie Lee.
And today we are fashionably late, and we also have a special guest, which we'll introduce shortly. But first, Rickie Lee, you got something for us?
Yes, I was listening this morning to the Sam and Ray podcast, and I know that Ray's our producer, but if you have not listened to the Sam and Ray podcast, please do so. Because,
immediately.
Yes, they had me cracking up all morning, so it's really great to see their progress and to listen to everything that they have to talk about. So Sam and Ray podcast, please check it out if you want a good laugh.
Yes, I'm waiting for part 2 of this latest episode, so I can't wait. So today we have my father-in-law, Vicente Mota.
Hey.
Welcome.
Well, thank you, ladies.
AKA my dad.
Yeah, yes. You have a little, for those looking at us on Twitch and on YouTube, he has his like your medicine cabinet. I don't know what you got going on here.
It's a grandfather thing now.
Yes.
It looks like
it's
it.
a grandfather. This is a kit.
Yeah.
You guys prepared for. I said I think I may be coming down with the cold,
Right.
and so the ladies here, frequency ladies, got my allergy pills, my Vicks Vaporub,
Yeah.
Vaporub right here,
Vaporub.
ginger tea,
Mm.
right? Ginger tea
Yes.
with honey. This is ginger tea, but with chai.
Venice Beach beverage.
Mexican Kleenex.
Yes.
Mexican Kleenex.
Gotta have that handy.
Y en caso de mala suerte,
Yeah.
mi veladora.
You're
Well,
set
cured.
then.
I'm ready.
You're
and,
cured.
and I'm in the porta potty.
Oh, God.
You got everything
I
you
got
need
everything. I'm
for the
ready.
next hour and change.
I'm ready.
Welcome to being a grandfather, Dad.
How are you
Again.
feeling these days about, this new, you're already a grandfather, but we brought the Luca into the world about now almost 8 months ago. I'm in disbelief.
8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, if you take a look at my first 3 grandkids, they're adults, right?
Essentially.
They're like,
yeah.
they're out, they're driving, they're drinking, drinking and driving, all that stuff, right? So it
That made me
feels like I didn't get to feel the grandpa thing with them. It was almost like my kids. That's how I felt. And it's a really good relationship. Just wonderful. But then, what's the difference between Mia and
De Luca?
the Luca?
16 years.
Wow, 16 years.
Yeah, it's a
See?
whole other lifetime.
So now all of a sudden, yes, I do feel like a grandfather for the first time.
Good.
So it's a wonderful kid,
Thank
Mm,
you.
Natalie.
He's
He's
great.
the best.
and Mike too. Yes,
Yeah,
he has something.
We gotta
to do
give
with
him
it.
credit.
Yeah, I gotta give him a little credit.
He learned how to clap this week, which, like, I
That's what I
swear,
heard.
it brought tears to my eyes. I was like, he's really clapping, all of those things. But hey, I know we came in and you had a lot of great things that you want to talk about, Vicente. But before we get into all of those great things that I'm excited to pick your brain about, I wanted to ask these 3 questions to you, okay? Because I want our listeners to get a feel for who you are, where you come from, where you've been. And if they haven't listened to our episode, Call Your Dad Mike,
That we
be
did with
sure
Big
to
Brother
go
Jake.
back, and listen to that one because it was a 2-parter. It was really good content. But anyways, we're, like you said, you're a grandfather once again. So I want to ask these questions, okay? When was the first time you fell in love?
I think it's 7th grade.
Okay.
Is it
Tell us.
7th grade?
The fact that he remembers.
Yeah. Well, because I was in 5th grade in L.A. Then I go to Torreon when I go to 6th grade. And no, so it was 7th. So I was in 7th grade, which there is no 7th. It's called Primero de Secundaria.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it was a girl from the block.
Oh.
Yeah.
The girl,
So she,
Jenny from the block.
Jenny from no, her name was Marielena from the block.
Marielena?
Marielena from the block.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maria
So yeah,
Elena.
it was 7th grade.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. When was the last time you cried?
Ooh.
Long awkward pause. Meow, 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 meow.
Think about it.
Well, I mean, there's cry and there's real cry, right?
Give us both.
Yeah.
Wait, so is the regular cry just like a topical cry? Like you got an injured cry and then the deep cry is the emotional?
Well, no, there's I did a dish with 2 onions, that you're crying there.
That does not
right?
count.
Doesn't count. No, I think it was about 3 years ago.
Can you tell us about it?
When I was discriminated at work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I
remember
tell the
this.
story. Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
I'm
I was
sorry.
heading the project, but a financial project, and because it was in Iowa, I just was the wrong color, and so
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
But why did that make you cry though? Because I'm by your age, I'm assuming you've already experienced a significant amount of discrimination and injustices in all of your careers and in all of your life. But why this particular moment?
Well, you have to understand, Ricky. I was raised with It's a Small World, Disneyland,
What do you mean?
Yeah, what?
right? Well, okay, so Disney was for me first before you guys,
Right?
and so you had to go on that ride when you thought the world was like that. All colors holding hand. It's a small. Oh, everybody loves each other. So deep down, there's a little
That's
bit
what
of
you-
that. And then when you go, yes, you've been through all this discrimination, not just in the U.S., but when I lived in Mexico as well. So there's
Okay.
discrimination there too. But maybe you're beyond hope. You go, oh, we're there, right?
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
They respect for who you are, what you
No.
know, your contribution. All of a sudden, you're not going. Why? Well, you'll
not the
understand.
right
And I go, yeah, I knew there were racists out there, right?
Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa. And but it did hit me. Yeah, yeah. So I cried all night.
And I'm sure like you were really excited about the project and you had ideas and goals and dreams for what you were doing at that time.
It's
right?
not my dream job. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
I was going out there to do my job because I knew that to implement the whole project, it was very simple.
Okay.
And the people that went were not qualified to do it. So I never went to do the job. The bank is under consent order. So
See, that's what they get.
and look at me.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that was the
Should
last
have
time.
hired
Yeah,
you.
that was the
Should have
last
let you go to Iowa.
Yeah, fools. Sorry. All right, last question. What have you told your inner child lately?
time. My inner child.
Yeah, what have you told little Vicente?
I like that
lately?
you could see my dad's eyes and how he's processing all of this. He's thinking this through.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, it's every day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's every day. You see, you have, like I said, going to Iowa was not my dream job. That's what puts the frijolitos and tortillita on the table, right? No, I have a movie project, right? So every morning when I do my jog, I'm saying, all right, this is how I'm going to do this particular scene. This is who I'm going to hire to do this part. This is my camera guy. So every day I'm feeding that because that's my dream. I want to film my movie.
So are you saying that your inner child is the inner child that wants to film this movie?
Yeah. Yeah,
Or is it that inner child that was born with all of these great big dreams and all of these desires and all of these ambitions that you had? I imagine you were an ambitious child.
well, okay, 3rd grade, 4th grade, LA. We're going to build a spaceship in the backyard. We did. There was 10 of us. We built a spaceship. We brought all this piece of wood and we're hammering and everything, and it was taking shape. By mid-afternoon, everybody abandoned. They went playing baseball or something, and I'm still looking at the ship. I go, if we just get an engine here, right, we can make this thing fly.
Yeah.
So that was a kid, right, back then. And so I'm thinking, I'm going to make a movie. And I've already had people tell me, well, have you done a full feature length? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't done it. So how are you going to do it? Well, I've done some short films. I've done some, videos. I can film a movie.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I feel. You can do it. This is what you're going to do. That's yeah.
So that's what you tell your inner
Yeah.
child every day, and it's
Every
interesting
day,
that
every day.
you have that discussion with your inner child
Yeah.
every day. That answer surprises me, but I think that's good. We
And
should.
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to highlight that you say this every day because
Yeah.
that's all it takes to fulfill your dreams. And you should
Yeah.
have conversations with little you and present you and say, yeah, we got this. We're gonna do it. This is how. There's no stopping us.
I mean, that's just the dreams and it's dreams because it's not hope, but it's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, don't we all tell jokes to her in the shower? Because I know I'm going in the shower sometimes, and I'm making myself laugh,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I'm telling jokes to myself. I go, this is really good. I'm going to share
But wait, but Dad, inner child is different than your present self.
Yeah. What are you telling?
You didn't
15,
actually
20.
really answer the question, okay? Your inner child. First of all, what does the inner child mean to you? Like when Natalie asked me this question, I'm thinking, well, what does child mean to me? Okay, I'm thinking about 7-year-old Rickie, right? So in particular, what age, when you think about your inner child, are you thinking about?
Oh, the one who wanted to build a spaceship.
How old are you?
3rd grade, 4th grade. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the one who wants to film.
You tell them, don't
Yeah.
give up.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I took 2 diploma courses for directing in Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just signed up this year for the New York University Film School. It's going to take me a year to get my little certificate that hey, I can be a director or producer, right?
That reminds me of something my dad told me a minute ago. He was like, Rickie, you can screw your life up 3 times. And I'm paraphrasing however you said it.
Yeah.
But it's like, from 1 to when you're 40, you could revamp your whole life. And then when you're 60, you could revamp your whole life. And then still when you're 8. And when
Yeah.
he said it like that, I was like, well, yeah, there is a lot of time. Yeah, there is different opportunities that you can explore when you hit certain ages.
For sure.
No, I mean, Rickie, you went to see Buena Vista Social Club when
Yes.
it first came out.
Yes.
That to me, right there, made it definitive for me.
That's a good point.
How old would everyone?
Ibrahim
Ibrahim
Fa-
Fahed,
yeah, it was like-
72.
yeah.
Ruben
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez,
Yeah.
he was 82. Compay Segundo, 93. And that's when they hit it.
So-
Yeah.
That's when they recorded, right?
There's
So
no age.
There is no age, but to put into context, the Buena Vista Social Club is a documentary about these Cuban singers that they made an entire movie about them. And like my dad's saying, they were older. They were in their 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Because one of them was, I think it was Ruben Gonzalez, who was in his 80s when he was
80s,
playing.
82, yeah.
And they got to play at it's in New York, the theater. Starts with a C. And I can't.
Carnegie Hall?
Carnegie Hall,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
like, and you see them at their age, they're in New York, not ever imagining
Yeah.
in their wildest dreams that at that age they were finally going to get a filled up theater,
Wow.
recognized. Oh, it was beautiful.
That-
That movie is one of like top 3 favorite movies of mine of all time. It's a beautiful
Gotta
piece.
watch it.
Yeah,
Sidney Frank
I don't know who
Cr-
Sidney Frank is.
created Grey Goose at 72.
Oh, vodka. Yeah.
At
Mhm.
72,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, you can, reboot your life as many times as you want. And so another question that they've asked me, when are you going to retire? Go,
What does
Never.
that even mean?
what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
There's a movie once around, Richard Dreyfuss, and I forgot who it is, but the father retires and he's bored to death, and so they give him the typical clay thing, so you can
Oh, the
Like
clay
pottery.
pottery,
Pottery.
right? No, that's scary. You retire?
Yeah, no, I could, but I don't think my dad's ever had a traditional life or a mindset to pursue a traditional life, and he would
In
probably
general.
die immediately after retirement if that was the case for
Well,
him.
you and I were talking about that too, right? Like once people retire, it's statistically know that
You
within
die.
a few years you're dead.
I've
That's scary.
heard about that.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to retire.
No,
Ever.
there's no point.
That's
There's no
not
point.
for
There's
us.
a famous actor in Mexico, Ignacio Lopez Tarso. I think he just turned 99, and he wants to go back to theater. He was doing theater before COVID at
Right.
96. He was out there,
Wow.
memorizing
impressive.
lines.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. I can't
yeah.
remember yesterday. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's what we have to do. Is just keep going.
So how do we prepare the Luca for this life?
Yeah. Ye-
This now life.
yeah,
Right? Scary
it is.
and exciting.
I'm not
Well,
excited.
yeah.
About it.
I'm thrilled,
I would never have a child at this. Like I
It's
look at people
thrilling.
having kids now, and I'm like,
right? Scary,
it is scary.
but it's thrilling. And I think
She said, but it's thrilling.
it's thrilling because I say this all the time. I would not have been better suited, better prepared for a child than now. I couldn't have done this 10 years ago. I couldn't have done this in the 1900s, 1800s, or in another
1900s. It's
lifetime.
Like Ray said, timing. Everything
Yeah.
has its timing.
Everything is in perfect timing.
Yep.
And we were even saying with Vicente, right, in the car, that just the resources and the tools that we have, we haven't even scraped the top of all of the things that we can do with ourselves, with life. There is no need to retire. There's so many things that we can do. We have yet to explore it.
Yes, I agree. But now let's go back to DeLuca. Now, adding to what you just said, that it's you believe that this is the best time to have a baby compared to when Ricky had the baby, compared to when I had my babies, right?
For myself, at least. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it in another time period for me.
Well, and I agree to a certain point as a mother. In other words, whatever symptom DeLuca may have, right, before you even take him to the doctor or anything, you have all the technology right there, right
At your fingertips.
At your fingertips, because I started using it, right. I'm going through a crisis. 10 years ago, I remember when Google was barely in its infancy, right? And so there I'm shaking, I'm sweating, right? Oh my God!
Oh God, you did not
and
WebMD
he
it.
said- And he goes, let's call my ex-wife, ex-wife, I don't know which one. Let's call 911. Well, hold on, before I go to hospital.
Let me
Look,
Google it.
Google it. I'm 50-something. I'm on my feet. What do I have? I'm shaking. I can't feel half on my face. And he said, well, you probably did this. It'll go away in 30 minutes. There. And I sweated out. I was okay. That was 12 years ago or something like that, or 14. Now it's like you don't even have to type it, right?
It automatically suggests it for you.
Yeah, right.
That
You
is
talk
It's
to your
listening.
Sydney, or we were talking about Sydney or Chat GPT
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Say, hey, Sydney, the Luke is throwing up. What did you give him? I gave him broccoli. Last week, broccoli. No.
That's a
So
good point.
you have all the technology
Yeah.
for to better raise an infant. The problem or the issue is when he's going to school, right? And now he's using the technology.
Okay.
So I believe, I'm thinking, well, oh man, if I had that back in my days, yeah, I didn't want to read the whole Moby Dick, which I didn't, because you went and bought Cliff Notes, right? The cheat
Cliff
sheet,
Notes,
the Cliff
shit.
Notes, right?
Right.
So we read that, boom, 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 go do your test. You made it. I'm okay with the C+.
Yeah.
I don't care, right? Or write the report. Now he's going to be able to tell the chat, do the
Write my
do the
report.
report.
do the report,
Yeah.
right? So I believe as a parent, it's as a parent, we had to protect our kids from one simple thing on the computer, porn.
No, it was Nintendo, Dad. You would
Porn.
not let us
Yeah,
have a Nintendo.
That too. Well, okay, you know what?
We really wanted one.
For us, it was porn, right? But then came the games. That's right.
Yeah.
Then the addictions to those games. But Ricky, was Mike into Call of Duty or that stuff?
No.
No. Okay. See,
He was into baseball.
baseball.
He had
sports.
friends.
he plays guitar. He plays drums. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So your job, Natalie,
Yeah.
is to try to prohibit all the stupid applications.
Yeah.
No, it's not stupid, but the TikTok dances, the
Hey,
Tide
TikTok
Pod.
helped you out a lot.
No,
with the Luca.
well,
It
right,
has.
but there's
Honestly.
right.
But when it goes to
I wanna
the
say
child.
alcohol has helped me a lot too.
It's prolonged your life, Dad. Shout out to alcohol.
So there's
Calms
so
your anxiety.
there's good way of using alcohol.
Yeah.
There's bad. There's good way of using TikTok. There's bad ways.
Yep.
Right. So what's he doing on TikTok? Is he dancing? Is he doing the Tide Pod challenge? Is he doing?
Yeah.
See, that's the stuff that you're gonna have to look out for.
Yeah.
And to guide him into using technology to better himself.
Right.
Now, yes. Do I like technology to create music? Yeah. Right. I'd rather see him, putting some nylon strings and then tuning
That's a
it.
tangible form of music. I don't know,
Right.
Dad. I don't know that you're gonna get a grandkid like that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe imagine DeLuca comes out EDMing it. Or I don't even know what's gonna be popular when he starts getting into pop music and
Yeah.
or whatever is in the moment at that time.
Yeah.
I don't think the acoustic will ever go away, Ricky.
It won't, but it does for a lot of people. What's the latest pop song that you've heard on the charts right now with an acoustic guitar in it?
Pablo Alborán from
Okay, that
Spain.
doesn't count, Dad.
What do you mean it doesn't count?
Pop culture.
He's
I don't know who
I
that
have
is.
no who. I don't know who that is.
he's 30.
People on the chat, do you guys know who that is?
Pablo Alborán. Ask your brother. He knows about music.
My brother listens to different types of.
But I
yeah.
think you guys would be the exception.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm realizing, and you guys know this, how wonderful it is I like this artist. All you have to do is go to his radio. Go radio based
Oh yeah,
on that.
create a radio. Oh,
and,
that's
it's,
wonders.
and it's like you go in a wormhole.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this
Naive.
world existed of this type
Yes.
of music. Who are these guys?
Right.
Right? Back in my days, you went to Tower Records,
Yeah.
right? You go, and then they had these headsets to listen, right? To a
Sample the
particular-
CDs.
Yeah, sample the CDs, and that was it. You go, oh, jazz fusion,
All right.
Which is separate from your hard rock, which is your progressive rock, your Pink Floyd, your Yes, and all that stuff. But nowadays, that Spotify is like
So let me ask
That's
you this.
technology.
universe.
It is technology, and I don't remember what episode we brought up, but I was thinking about what we leave our kids, right? And I can say with certainty that my dad's left me a wonderful gift of music, right? In all aspects of it. How do you think, and this is why we have to consider technology, right? DeLuca should be able, any of your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids should be able to look back and say, oh, this is what my grandpa Vicente used to listen to. And look at his Spotify playlist. You'd be
Yeah.
dead for 20 years, but your future is going to be able to access all the music that you used to listen to.
Oh, your
I
digital
didn't think
content.
about that.
Yeah.
That to me, now that you put it that
Yeah.
way, because I may have a couple LPs that my grandfather gave my mom, and my mom gave to me. And so this is what my grandfather used to
Yeah.
listen to, right? But which song would he play? I don't
right.
know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But here, I have playlists already.
Yes. And
Yeah.
we will be able to know exactly what you listened to, exactly what you liked. And I actually have my great grandmother's radio, her old school radio in the studio here.
Yeah.
She gave it to me.
Really?
But yeah, it's up there when you go. Abu Conchita
real
gave
radio.
It to me. Abu Conchita gave it to me. You can't see it from here, but it's like the little old,
Little brown
little
wood.
brown, one little switch. A Bendix
Does it
radio.
go on itself at night?
Oh, that would be
Probably in
scary
here
if it
by
did.
itself.
Yeah.
But so
Is
that's
Is it brown noise?
this brown noise, the best noise, brown noise. But I think that's gonna be something. So my kids did their ancestry DNA.
Oh, that's
They're
cool.
doing it with their dad. I'm the only one that has not done it in this
Ricky,
family.
you gave me
I
that
wanna-
as a
I
present.
gave it to my parents for
We should
Christmas.
do it. And then we can discuss.
And my kids wanted to know,
I
where
want to do mine too.
where they came from and whatnot. But they're discovering all of these different documents that existed.
How
Like,
cool.
They found some certificate of my grandmother when she was crossing the border, and you saw my grandmother's signature on my mom's side.
Really?
Yeah, they were showing me.
They
these things,
found
and I
that
was
on
like,
the ancestry thing?
Yes.
Shut
No,
up.
and I was like, holy shit. So I'm thinking, in the future, I want my grandkids and great grandkids to know who I was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're going to be able to, I hope they'll be able to access that. So I said, your playlists, Dad, are going to be important.
Okay, but that's music.
yeah.
This
But-
podcast.
But what you just described,
Mm-hmm.
right? Isn't that Instagram and Facebook? Right?
And that's one of the reasons why I came back on Instagram. Because, and then here's the thing though, but Instagram's not going to be around. And let's say I have grandkid 15 years from now. Instagram is not going to be around 15 years from now. It's going to be another social media thing that...
Possibly, but so I quit Facebook and Instagram about a year ago, right? And then I'm thinking, somebody tells me, hey, can you send me pictures of when we went to...
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I don't have access to it. Because
Instagram.
that became a storage
Yes.
of memories and
Yes.
trips. I said, damn it, I should have kept
Yep.
copies of
That's
that.
why I went back on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? I want my future to be able to access. Meaning, it might not be, you know, on and popping, but it will definitely be still accessible.
Yeah, it'll be on the internet.
I'm going to leave all my passwords to my grandkids so they can see all of my
You can log
DMs.
in.
And wait, maybe that wouldn't work.
Don't get in my DMs.
So last time I was here, your podcast, I was in the green room
Yes.
with the crew.
Oh, yes. Wait, what
with-
was the last time?
With I forgot.
two-
you brought us
weeks
the
ago?
wine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Dallas was the what? Now it's a broadcast by toilet paper. Not sponsored by Mexican tea Kleenex. No, so we were with Carlitos and Alina and Mia, and so the topic came up
grandkids.
as Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think it was Mia that asked, well, who speaks Spanish this generation, right?
Whose generation?
The Mia, Andy, Frankie, Marina.
Okay,
So
so
we
here-
were
The
doing
young kids.
inventory, right? My parents, and then their kids, and then how did Spanish start fading?
Well, my kids aren't my cousins' generations. They're the generation after that. Because
Right.
Mia and my kids aren't cousins at the level that like Marina and Mondo and all them. They're after that.
So they said they're blaming you,
Oh yeah, they blame me all the time.
right? And they say, oh, so your father doesn't speak Spanish? And they go, oh, yeah, that's true.
And I'm always
Right.
at fault.
So that, to me, I said, no, go up. What do you mean go up? Well, did I talk to you in Spanish? Grandkids, did I tell?
Nope.
No, I didn't.
Nope.
Now, Rickie, when you speak to my mom, my dad, is it Spanish?
Oh, always Spanish.
Always Spanish.
It's a
Right.
respect
So
thing.
it's your grandparents. So I speak Spanish. They could have spoken Spanish to me.
So it's your fault. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better.
Whoops.
That
Yes.
makes me feel better.
So here's a challenge. What can I do with DeLuca? Oh, so last week, Alex shows up.
Okay, my cousin Alex.
And
Okay.
say, Alex, how's Eliza doing with Spanish?
That kid speaks like
Hold on.
all kinds of languages.
Hold
Which,
on.
for the listeners, she is the daughter, his daughter.
Yeah,
Alex is my cousin
Eliza.
Alex.
Yeah, and so Erica speaks to
Yeah.
her in Spanish.
Very intentional.
Right? And so Alex brought up the same thing. Yeah, I could have spoken Spanish and German, right?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Spanish and German. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm listening to Alex. All right, so what do I have to do?
Okay.
So I have to really analyze my mom and dad,
Okay.
because I would see them taking care of little Andy, Frankie, right? Mia, Alina, and they would speak English to them.
My grandparents.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's what went wrong. They
Interesting.
should have spoken Spanish, insisted in speaking Spanish. Now, when I showed up today, what
Yeah.
did I do? Look,
You spoke English
I
right
spoke
away.
English.
Okay, so I'll tell you the reason why my brother and I ended up speaking Spanish. Do you know why Do you know why we ended up speaking Spanish?
But your grandma Berta?
Yes.
Yeah.
My grandparents. So my parents would ship us off every summer to
the
my
maternal.
mom's. Yeah, to my mom's my grandmother's house, and she lived in Praxedis Guerrero in Chihuahua, and we spent months there, and nobody spoke English there. Not that they didn't speak English, but you spoke Spanish. We
Yeah.
had to.
Oh, yeah.
We had to assimilate, and we had to, learn. And it was terrible because I remember coming back, and my mom, I think it was in 3rd grade, she put me in this catechism class in Spanish. I was suffering. I didn't it was the worst thing ever. But
You didn't understand.
I didn't understand because it was a whole different other type of Spanish. But the forcing it thing was a big thing. Those summers were significant. they made a big difference.
Yes, but Rickie, you were born.
Right. I'm a border baby.
You're a border baby. So she spoke Spanish first.
That was my first language.
Well, Spanish is my first language as well.
Yep.
And I remember 84 or around that time, we come back from Juarez to West Covina.
La Puente.
And I'm thinking, oh shit, she doesn't speak English, right? So I remember I had her in the car, and it was a truck, and back in the good old days, you don't need seatbelts,
Yeah,
so she
right.
was just standing there on the seat, right,
Hanging out on
and
the
then
window.
I looked over at her and I said, Rickie, so how do you like your new home? She's like, no me hables chistoso, no te entiendo. Right? I go, okay, that's it. It's got to go. We're gonna go straight. Cold.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Was my mom in the car?
No. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm asking that because I think the very first memory that I've ever had in my life, and when my dad made that body movement, I just remember being in the back seat of the car and but my mom was there, and it was both of them, and I had my arms around them, and I just remember the sun. It was early in the morning, the sun being bright, and I knew there was something different. I just felt a lot of joy and a lot of happiness. I've had that image and I call it a memory because I don't know what it is.
Right.
But the fact that you just described it like that,
How
I was
funny.
like, damn, maybe that really did happen. That was a thing, and it was in that moment when I really was starting a new life.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
we did send you to Mexico every summer because when we were in Los Angeles, my parents sent us to Torreon
Right.
every summer
Right.
as well. Yeah, that helped us with Spanish, but it wasn't the reason why I speak Spanish. So I'm thinking, what to do with Toluca? And I think it's on me. I have to. I really want to.
I think you should just ship all your grandkids to Ensenada for 3 months
There
at
you
a
go.
time.
No, that's going to happen.
That's the most important
see,
thing.
there's no excuse right now. So like your mom, does she speak English or Spanish? to
I speak
DeLuca?
Spanish to my mom, and I actually want to go back to.
No. Your mom to DeLuca.
I think she speaks Spanish.
And she spoke to my kids in Spanish when they were little, but
Yeah.
then when they got older, it was English. And I think that comes down to the stigma of having to speak English because they want to improve their own English and they want to. They feel and it. But when they were little, it's when the Spanish really kicked in.
But then there's Spanish and then there's Spanish.
Right.
I don't want DeLuca.
Learning Spanglish.
That was my Abuchui was always against that. He would always tell me just pick a language, don't do both. And to this day I do both. Now I don't know. That's all
I have to do both. I forget the words, so I'm screwed. And I could improve, but then there's the use of it. I don't use it.
There's Spanish and then there's Spanish.
Yeah.
We don't want, because I got my nicknames for DeLuca. El Gordo. I don't know why. He's just El Gordo.
He's a bonbon.
And Little Natty because it's a carbon copy of this
El
frequency.
Natty.
Little Natty. So I'm thinking,
really is.
again, talking to my inner child, Little Natty. Oh man, the Spanish. Hey, Little Natty from RC Barrio. Hey mom, jefita, I just came from school,
Oh
man.
my God.
And little Johnny, he took my lapis.
Oh my God.
Man, and what you do? Well, like Grandpa said, I took it back and foo.
Oh Jesus.
John Wick, the guy right here.
No.
No?
No.
Did
Okay.
you just come up with that right now?
That's his inner
come
child.
from? Yeah.
That is his inner child. That is
really,
his inner child.
That's your inner child.
Little
There you go.
Natty, little khaki pants and his little,
Oh my
his little
God.
white T-shirt,
Button
bien
up at the top.
planchado.
Let me just ask this question.
Hey, Mom, look what I brought you. It's Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
I fucked up. I should have worn my Nike Cortezes today. And
Oh
I
God,
didn't.
thank God you didn't.
I should have.
But
And I looked at them too.
I do
Anyway.
have this question because
Oh, but wait, hold on. This is great.
Everyone, I made my father-in-law a ginger tea, ginger, cinnamon, and lemon with manuka honey.
Oh,
what
it's
does
really
the
good.
manuka mean?
Really good.
Manuka, it's a honey from New Zealand, and it's supposed to be really
How
good
do
for
you
your
get honey
immune
from
system.
New Zealand here.
Sprouts.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, it's really,
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
It's really good.
First podcast we do sober.
Right.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Okay, so back to my question. So, being that your inner child is so present in your day-to-day life, because I think that most people would describe you as a very spirited man, as a very energetic and a very passionate, and very youthful person, right? What do you think has been the recipe for maintaining that kind of spirit, for being that in touch with your inner child, and really protecting your inner child from the various negative things that could really crush that inner child? What's the secret?
Yeah, that protection I haven't figured it out, but there is. Yeah, there is something,
yeah.
right? Many people, my generation, the first thing they do is pray, or their morning prayers.
Which is a form of meditation.
Yeah, it could be.
It is.
The first thing I do is I read 2 newspapers in the U.S. And 2 newspapers from Mexico.
Right.
I got everything that's happening local, nationwide, worldwide, right? I know what the topic's going to be. Get up, do your daily routine. Throughout your day, your coworkers, your parents, your Uber driver, hey, what do you think about so-and-so? And you already know what to respond. You're informed. The last thing is like, what is he talking about? So you're informed. What's going on in the world, right? Now, it could be a downer. It could be a downer, especially what we went through with our last president in the U.S. and same thing with Mexico. It can depress you, and it has affected a lot of people in both countries. If I let that affect me, right, the fentanyl, the hate between political parties, if I let that affect me, what kind of a person I am with my surrounding family?
Right.
Right. So maybe you have to block all that and pretend. Right?
How do you block that? You just said pretend.
Yeah. Yes.
So you just pretend it's not there.
Well,
I'm just gonna ignore this.
All right. Lose all the heavy stuff. For me, lose all the traditions, the holiday festivities. I don't put up lights anymore, Christmas lights. I don't do that. And that.
Why are you so against that?
No, I didn't say against it. I said I decided not to focus any time, effort, resources, money on spending on Thanksgiving, on anything, Halloween, none of that stuff, because
you do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Every single day.
I get it. But
right?
That's also assimilation, right? Like, okay, well, you do that, but your family may do other things, and your kids may want to do different things. And so basically, if Mike and Natalie want to do the whole Christmas thing,
because we do.
You're not going to participate in that. You're going to be like, no, bah humbug. You're not going to do that.
You better partake.
You better
I'm threatening you
and
right
at that point, just pretend. Pretend you're all about it.
Yeah.
Pretend you're all about it.
It's like Valentine's this week. So here comes Regina. I've got all these cards. I got anonymous flowers.
Right. Yep.
I've got
cute.
anonymous chocolates.
She's doing it.
I got that. The whole thing. Yes, the other one. But what you get?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
You see, I just used Valentine's as an example. How many kids, Rickie? How many kids on Christmas?
The disappointment.
Does not, right? Come on.
Okay, well, let me tell you what I remember about Valentine's Day growing up. I remember about Valentine's Day growing up, going to dinner with my family, my parents buying me little stuffed animals, little things. Like, you did that. Like, I got all the holidays from you. There was nothing wrong with that. It was cool. It was exciting. It was interactive. It was engaging.
What would happen if DeLuca grew up knowing that there is no Santa Claus from day one? What?
He'd be that
What?
shiesty-ass little kid, that pessimistic,
ruining it for everyone else.
naysayer, ruining it for everyone else. Yeah. Literally the opposite.
He would be an asshole.
Yeah, the opposite of what my dad taught me when I'm over here trying to prove to everybody that there's a Santa Claus that exists, right? That you signed. He signed that letter. Chris Kringle, okay? you'd be
Not Krangle.
whatever.
Not Krangle.
You did Krangle.
Sorry.
Oh,
Mad.
It sounds
Mad.
like someone on crack. Chris
The
Krangle.
inner child.
Krangle.
The inner child is coming
It
out.
is. It is because I've always my dad's been so call it anti or just non-traditional. But those were the best years like of my childhood. Like my
Yeah.
parents were great parents.
Yeah.
It was full of imagination, full of color,
You need
full
that.
of creativity. You need that. And so now, and again, despite experiencing all of that, yes, our relationships transitioned to the truths. We had to find out the truths about everything, and it was fine.
Right.
And then you go on to the next phase, right? But you know how to foster that initial childhood experience, which is important. That's the whole purpose of it, right? If you go in just gray and dark and nothing exists, there's that cynical child that Santa Claus doesn't exist, and he doesn't get to partake in that wonderful, warm, again, interaction. Like even thinking about Abu Conchita and putting together the nativity scene, that was a lot of effort, and time.
Yeah.
That was important. That taught us the significance of how you put things together as a family and how you interact and the traditions that you live. I don't care about nativity scenes, but I still do one because
Yeah.
that's what it taught me, and my kids like to do it. It's just a thing.
Tradition.
Well, there's
Yeah.
Legos too.
And I love Legos.
We
Well,
love
there you-
Legos.
there
This
you
is
go.
a
But-
Lego
but-
household.
No, but
It is a Lego
I'm going
household.
back. I'm going back to this. You know, when we would tell somebody in our family that there is no Santa Claus, you know, you break it to them.
Yeah.
I remember my mom says, "No, why'd you tell them that?" Right? 'Cause if it were up to mom, right now I'd still be believing in Santa Claus. Right? She'd be hiding.
That's
I'm
not
serious.
true.
I'm serious. I'm
Oh,
serious.
your mom.
So
Bless her heart.
DeLuca, what critical thinking from day one, right? Critical thinking from what's the exercise that you give an infant? Well, it's senses, right? That's what I was told. That's what I read. That critical thinking starts with the touching and feeling. They use
Sure.
their senses, smell, touch. That's how they start. Oh, wait, I didn't like this. Right? What is this? Right? Senses. We stop doing that as we start growing older. We let ourselves, our thinking, somebody else, instead of using our senses. Right?
Makes sense.
We
Yeah.
forget to be the infant to do critical thinking using our senses. Instead, we're so lazy that well, what did so and so on the radio say? Okay, I'm gonna go with that. I believe that guy, right? So did you? Aunt Martha sent to our group the little girl,
Right, the Santa Claus and the DNA.
the
Yeah.
cookie. She said, "I'm gonna put it in the bag. I'm gonna send it to DNA to see who this guy is, right? Because my parents don't have the guts to tell me that it's all fantasy. So I'm gonna go CSI on them."
Oh my God. Yeah.
She
And
did
there's
that,
nothing
right?
wrong
She
with
did.
that. She
No,
did, and that's
I
great,
want
and
every
that's
single
great.
kid to be like that little girl.
Why? You don't want a world full of people like that. It's a balance. You can't have.
You
a
can't
world
handle the truth.
I don't want to handle the
She
truth.
wanted the truth.
I know, but you can't have
You
a whole
can't-
world of people like that. That there's no balance with people like that.
You know what? I think it'd be a better world if everybody just
Was the same critical thinkers and everyone operated the same and everybody believed the same.
believed or knew the same.
I get the new this. Okay, I get the new part.
That's right. That's right. It's not.
Well, let me ask you this: what was, since we're talking about being a grandfather, what was your relationship with your grandfathers on both sides, your maternal and your
Good
paternal?
question.
Oh well. My grandfather on my mother's side.
Okay,
I believe the reason I am what I think is because of him.
and that's why it reminded me of that. Okay, and what was
So
he like?
It's a great relation with me. He was very open. He would talk to me about politics. He would talk to me that yes, he had to say certain things to his patients. He was the doctor of the town, right? He was a mayor of the town, and he would say certain things to them. And to me, he says, "But this is how it really is." I'm 15 years old, right? Well, how come you didn't tell them? Yeah, You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think, wow, that's what I got to do as an adult.
You don't
So
want to cause chaos.
I can lie to my kids,
Mm.
right? So you got to be thinking about that, right?
Yeah,
So you gonna have to have your spreadsheet, your you know, your business analyst, the white lies that I can tell to Luca,
Right.
like, then gray area, gray lies,
Yeah.
right? You gotta
Where
have
do
that-
babies come from?
You gotta have your little risk assessment as to
Right.
the damage you're gonna do with certain lies,
Okay.
Yeah.
right?
And
Because-
at what point, right? Because I believe that they'll ask the same questions as they grow, and the same questions will evolve into different answers depending on what they can take and they can understand, right? Because you're talking about critical thinking. So,
Okay, that's now that you're going to a good topic now. So as an infant, he's going to go through his own exercises of developing his critical thinking, but then he's going to get to the twos or the threes. Mama, how come this? Well, the question, the why, right?
yeah.
I believe that is where a human being starts his foundation of a belief system. It's the parents. It's the parents. My parents gave me certain belief systems. And then all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, Mom, but your dad is telling me something different. I didn't tell Mom like that. But it was great that whatever my mom was telling me, I wasn't buying it. But then here comes Grandpa and goes, no, son, it's like this. Yeah, now that makes sense.
You connected with that.
I connected with that, yeah. And I believe that the truth is beauty, right? And if we, as a human being, can identify the beauty and truth, you will connect when somebody says something and within the crowd, and you go, I connect with, and then you gravitate. You go to that person. And that's what happened with me and my grandfather.
So and that's on your mom's side.
So mom said,
And on your dad's side? Did you have that same connection?
No. He was a very stoic person.
Oh,
you know.
stoicism isn't bad.
Yeah, no, it isn't. But I didn't spend much time. He didn't share many of his, history in life or philosophy or anything.
That's interesting because I would definitely describe you as a stoic person. I mean, you're very Marcus Aurelius, and he was a stoic. So that's interesting that's the word you chose to describe him.
Yeah. Now I had a better relationship with my grandmother on my father's side.
Okay.
Now if I have something from her, is have all the kids over.
The congregating part.
Camp out all the cousins, all her grandkids, and set up tents inside the house. My grandfather owned a printing shop in Mexico. So when we go spend the summers, we all got excited because Grandma and her helper would make lunch. Now, it doesn't translate correctly, lunch. No, la comida
Right.
de las 2 de la tarde, right? Which is a guisadito, carnita con papa, frijolitos.
My dad just makes everything sound good. Okay,
Frijolitos,
Dad.
su arrocito rojo, sus tortillas, literally sus tortillitas en el rollo. And then we would have to take the plate to the workers,
Right.
right? And so that was her, and I would watch her in the kitchen, how she managed herself. If somebody didn't know her, she's always upset. She's always, that was the way she operated, right? But
Wait, they would describe your grandmother as always
always
upset?
upset. She always had this face.
The señora
Yeah,
look.
señora, right? but she was so lovable, right? With us, you can feel the love. That's Grandma.
Good for her.
Now,
Grandma on the other side?
Tío, grandfather,
What?
right? My grandmother, her brother.
Okay.
So it's a tío
Oh,
abuelo.
it's a tío. Yeah.
Tío abuelo.
abuelo,
Tío
right.
abuelo.
Texas. When we moved to Texas, we lived with him, right? And I would
What's
watch
his
him.
name?
Jesus, Tío Jesus. I
Okay.
was a freshman in high school,
Okay.
and I would watch him. Also very stoic.
Okay.
And he would throw his little trapito here, chopping his onions, his little glass of whiskey on the side,
Okay.
throws carne de res, throws his oregano, and I'm watching, as he's cutting the onions, clean a little bit, right? A sip of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look at him and I could taste the food. I could taste the whiskey, And that's what I do.
Right.
I throw the little thing, and I'm cutting, and I'm loving it every single moment. And was it because I watched him? No, not really, because I didn't cook right off the bat.
You did not.
No, I cooked when I was living in Mexico City. But to see how he enjoyed it, I go, it wasn't my tia. She was doing her own cooking some other place. Actually, he cooked for himself because there was fighting, and he believed she was going to poison him. That's why he cooked.
So
that's what's up.
like,
No,
I'm
I
not
don't do
gonna
that. I cook my own meals, but not because Raquel's going to poison me.
Not
No,
yet.
Raquel's not going to poison
That's
me.
why you have the velita there.
So we do have the three grandparents. We do have the three grandparents, right? You talked about my Abu Conchita's dad and then my Abu Chuy's parents. What about Abu Conchita's mom, your grandmother on my grandma's side?
All the best ghost stories. That's all she had to say.
So she was a storyteller?
Storyteller.
Okay, so in a nutshell, as I've listened to my dad speak, like he's literally my grandparents. And I think that my dad encompasses now who they were, right? So he's a chef, right? My dad cooks all the time, so
Yeah.
that's on my grandfather's side,
Yeah.
right? And then you said your grandmother on my grandfather's side loved to have people over, so that's what
He
you
likes
do,
to host, yeah.
right? And on the other side, politics and straight communication from your grandfather.
He was a singer.
He was a singer. And then your grandmother was a storyteller. You are literally a living and encompassing version of your grandparents on both sides.
Aren't we all, Ricky?
No.
You?
No.
All right,
To
let me
some
ask you.
extent, yeah.
What's it's like? What
Are
do
you your
what-
grandparents?
no. Let me throw it at you. When you ask me, what do you talk to your inner child? What's your grandfather's in you? What do you have of your grandparents?
For me, I definitely have my grandfather on my dad's side. My dad's dad. His is it seriousness? He was a very serious man, and to this day, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I ever saw him laugh. He was very serious. I don't think I have pictures of him smiling.
But you laugh.
But I laugh. But there's something about him that you always knew not to, like, you can't joke with him. You can't cross like lines with him.
I get that.
You know what I mean? He was just somebody that you respected. You don't overstep. You don't overspeak. So I think I have some of that from him, where I'm just a little more reserved, a little more like, all right, I'm just listening.
Right.
He was a listener. He didn't talk much either.
Grandmother?
My grandmother on my dad's side, from both of my sides of my family, I'm always told that I'm a lot like my grandma from my dad's side. I'm sorry. She was very social. Everyone in the town loved her. She was very involved in the community. I don't know if she taught or volunteered in a school. But everyone, even when I went to visit my dad's side of the family, my dad will walk around and they still thank him and think about my grandma and the way that she was, because she was just so involved in her community, and she loved to dance.
Oh my God, you're a dancer.
So that's where that comes from. From my mom's side, my grandma, she's I think she's about to be 96, or she's about to turn 97. I'm not sure. She's in her late 90s now.
Okay.
So
That is up
I
there.
just hope that I can make it as far as she has. And you know what? That woman, she is the healthiest person
Oh,
of
okay.
all. She has 11 children. She is the healthiest of all her family. So I hope that I can be as healthy as she is. And one thing about the mom side,
That's a good hope.
Yeah.
you know, one thing about my mom's side of the family, they're, from what I know, they're all, what's the word I'm looking for? Healers. They all believe in herbs, eating the right foods, not eating processed stuff.
Really?
Yes, I was vegetarian. I was vegetarian for the last 5, 6 years. And it wasn't until recently that one of my uncles was like, "Oh, you're a vegetarian." He's like, "Well, that makes sense. You know, your tias and your grandmother's sisters were all vegetarian, and they all just died because of natural causes, not because they had cancers of this
Right.
or that." So
There you go.
I think that's what I
That's-
have from them. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, the vegetarian thing.
So that's a little bit about that, but I have a lot yet still to discover about
The relationship that you have, that
how I tie into
and-
their
yeah, how- and
them.
you inherited some
Yeah.
of their traits. What
Yeah.
did you inherit, Ricky?
I would say from on my dad's side, my Abu Conchita, my grandmother, probably the art of anticipation. Like, I feel like my grandmother knows what's gonna happen before it happens, so she gets ahead of things and she sets everything up. She sets the play up for success.
Okay.
Right? And that's I saw her do that a lot, and then her constant desire for, she would always, she still says that tiene que ver armonía. There's got to be harmony. There's got to be harmony in everything, and always trying to make peace with everything, make sure everyone is good, being hospitable. I think I definitely got that from her. And then on my dad's side, or my mom's side, my grandfather was a writer, a very reflective person. I'm a writer. I do the same thing. I walk around with pens and paper all the time. I connect with him on that level. And then on my grandmother's side, or my grandmother on my mom's side, she was a really hard worker. She had a lot of brute strength. Like, she would do anything. Like, I'm gonna paint this house, or I'm gonna build this, or I'm gonna move this, and it's heavy stuff.
She would do it.
She would do it. And I've had a lot of moments in my life where I'm doing a lot of physical labor, and she's with me. Like, I feel her energy and I feel her strength with that. Ironically, that's how I connect with my grandparents. There's one person that I miss, and that's my Abu Chui. That's my grandfather on my dad's side. And I'm not sure what I connect with him on that level, or what our similarities are, because I have always looked at him as like my number one fan. Like, he's always made me feel like, he would call me campeona, ¿cómo estás, campeona? Like a champ. Like, he always just made me, where I don't think I necessarily heard that from my other grandparents.
Yeah.
It was a different type of affection from them.
Yeah.
But from him, it was constant enthusiasm.
Nice.
Like, whatever I told him I was doing, he
Yeah.
was so proud of me.
Yeah.
He would always make me feel like, look what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I felt so much
That's
love.
amazing.
It is amazing. I felt so much love and joy. And he's always who I have on my mind when I think about the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm achieving.
Success.
Yeah. So it's like, I have my other grandparents with me in the things that I do, but it's always him that I want to impress. It's
Aw.
always him that, look what I did.
Yeah.
Because he's always loved me in that manner.
He's
That's a
your
beautiful
number
thing.
one hype man.
He is
Yeah.
my number one hype man. Yes, he is. So
Then
love
again,
that.
you're the oldest, right?
oh, and I wear that badge. I always
Proudly.
say that. I'm number one. I'm the first grandchild.
Yeah.
And they'll
yeah.
get on my Instagram and we love number one.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wasn't
That's
that
sweet.
position threatened there for a while? With us?
Nope.
No?
It was
Okay.
verified. I am number one.
Uh-oh.
But going back to DeLuca, there's what I'm going to do different.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'm going to do different that I learned. Some of my mistakes. I mean, for grandkids, not my kids. Kids, I did a lot of mistakes. For grandkids and nephews, I'm not going to take them to a horror movie at an early age to the theater.
Oh, you don't want to
No,
traumatize
I think
them,
I
right?
did that to Mando with Willow,
Willow.
and I did that to Balito with Alien, I believe.
And you did that with me with Terminator. I was
yeah.
terrified.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that with DeLuca. I got to be careful. But then you want to get them away, these grandparents. So my abuelita Cuca, my mom's, there was nothing there because the stories. One thing is a storyteller.
Right.
No, it was all about horror stories.
With her?
Yeah, and that's all
Oh.
she had to. She lived in a pueblito of 3,500 people.
That's
The
how
whole-
many people?
the-
are there?
yeah,
Oh, no
Para
shit.
Kedis was
I just
3,500.
googled it. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it, right? So we would go there for vacation. Night comes, everybody sitting around the table. What is she? Ghost story. Ghost story. So she had a maternity ward, right? And then once in a while, one mom would die, right, giving birth.
And that
then
would
she-
turn into
and that would-
something.
No, it's está una señora de negro parada ahí, right? And there I'm a fourth grader. I'm listening like, well, that's an adult, right? And my grandma says that desapareció la señora, so it's gotta be true, right?
Yeah.
And where did we sleep? When we in those beds in
Oh,
the maternity
hell
ward.
no.
And I'm like, "Ah!" right?
So you don't believe in spirits
No.
or afterlife or anything
No,
like
and
that?
then whoever passed away, the mom. You know what happened to the fetus? My grandfather had the fetus in
Oh
a
my
jar
God.
in his consultorio, right?
I actually remember
So,
that as a
yeah,
kid.
that
seeing
was a horror
That
place
was
also.
scary.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I
All
remember
Really?
kinds,
that.
all
Yeah.
kinds of deformed babies.
Are you
and
serious?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Oh my
And
But he was cool
Doctorcito.
because he said, that's just nature. Right?
And he's not wrong.
That's not wrong. But my grandma, they were all espantos. They were all ghosts.
She's not
so-
wrong either, though.
Ricky, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Well, Dad, not ghost, but the spirit, a spirit,
Like
right?
energy.
If you are a
All right,
a
that's
person,
it. Bring the
you're-
Ouija board. Right. Bring the Ouija board right now.
No, you're a body, Dad. You're a physical being. You're made up of matter, right? But who operates you? Where does your enthusiasm come from? Your body is telling you that? No, it's your spirit. It's your being. It's your energy. It's all of those things that make up all of your passions. Brown noise, brown noise.
Brown noise.
Brown noise. So when you die, if you happen to be floating around,
Let us know.
No, I don't believe that.
Dad,
I
are
don't
you
believe that.
serious
I'm
right now?
serious.
So you
I'm
don't talk to anybody who's died?
No.
You have zero relationship with the afterlife.
Yes. What do you think? Houdini? No.
No disrespect to the
No.
dead,
No
but
right.
So that's it. When you die, you die. You don't know that.
When you die, you go to the same place that you were before you were born. Nothing. Think about it.
You don't know that.
yeah.
We don't know that. Nobody knows that.
Have you been under? Yes, you have. At the hospital,
Anesthesia, hypnosis.
anesthesia, right? You black out. You don't know anything. When you sleep, you're still conscious. But
Okay.
when you're knocked out, and you go, "Where I been?" That's death. That's it. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's all your memories, it's in your brain, which is still a mystery, right? Your thoughts is stored there, right? So think about it. You're in a hospital. Oh, we're gonna have to unplug him. He's a vegetable, right? How do you know? He may be having a wonderful life in his head. And
It's true.
And the
And you're
person
about to
there,
unplug him?
he's hearing this. We're gonna have to unplug him.
like,
you,
"No."
you can't even blink him. Don't unplug me. You can't even move. It's like,
Yeah.
think about it.
No.
No, really. What are you
No,
going to do?
no,
Try
no,
to move,
no,
move your
Dad.
finger like this. Don't.
It's like the movie. Have you watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind when
With
he's
Jim
trying?
Carrey?
Yes,
when
that's
it
my
first came
favorite.
out,
Long time ago.
I gotta
He's
see
trying
that
to
again.
erase his memories, and he's trying to escape it, and so he's like trying to move his body, but he can't because he's in a vegetable state and he's under whatever anesthesia.
I think filming that movie really affected his brain because have you heard him talk?
Oh, I love Jim Carrey.
We love
He's
Jim
like-
Carrey.
He's
I'm a
like
Jim
kind of
Carrey
weird out.
fan.
He's like Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
They're
I
in
like
touch with
Matthew
their
McConaughey.
yes,
Yep,
they're
I
in
love
touch
him
with
too.
their spirituality, Dad. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, and now I know what's gonna happen. When you die, I'm literally not gonna hear from you. You're literally gonna disappear, and that's it. I didn't necessarily believe in all of that stuff either, but I do believe that you can be in touch with your ancestors. I believe that if okay,
Yeah.
so but actually, you said something about the abuelitas praying and all that stuff. I told Natalie the other day, because I do remember all of my grandmothers, they would always take out their little novenas, their little prayer books,
Yeah.
and they were there just praying the shit out of just
book.
reading and And for some reason, one day it occurred to me, I'm like, they're meditating.
Yeah.
Because on one day, I was going through a bunch of shit, and I just kept praying the Our Father over and over. I was trying to pray something to get me out of where I was,
Calm your heart.
right? To calm my heart. And I was praying it over and over again. And that's when it hit me. Oh my God, all these abuelitas who had to shut up and deal with all kinds of bullshit going around them,
Yeah.
that the only thing they could do is take out their little novena and pray
Yeah.
and meditate their way through all the madness that was potentially going around them.
Yeah.
Praying is a form of meditation, whichever way you do it, right? And I say this is to make my point. I recently really tried to access and get in touch with my ancestors. I believe that we do have that energy just goes someplace and you can access that. You can have an understanding with them. But you have to really listen. Really, really, really listen. And so
Yeah.
now I know you're not going to make zero effort when you die because you're just going to be gone and that's it.
Well, look, if that was the case, that anybody or everybody had access to their family members who died, we wouldn't be on TikTok. We would be very busy talking to all of our.
Have you ever tried?
Well, talking to.
Well, actually, you don't.
Is this got to be an effort on my part?
Yeah,
How?
it goes back into a meditative state where you're concentrating and you're praying and
Yeah.
but
you have
but,
to want to.
But I actually think my dad is very active with his ancestors. Who he is now is his past.
Yeah.
And how you said you wake up every morning and you read 2 newspapers because you need to be informed. Who gives a shit, Dad, that you're that informed? Nobody is going around quizzing you about everything you know.
Right.
Nobody cares, Dad, but you do it. Why?
Well,
Ancestors.
well, no. For example, why is it important to say, oh, okay, so now we're up to 30,000 dead in Turkey? Okay. Oh, so now we're up to 37. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. And then my mom saying, hijo, you got to eat something. Nobody does 5-day water fast. Really, Mom? They just pulled this 9-month-old kid 7 days from
Right,
the rubble,
right.
and he
No food or
No
water.
food or water.
Right.
People can do it. You learn things if you read, right? If you read the local stuff. Yeah, you can read your regular books, right? That we're supposed to, right? But you got to see what the stupid people are doing. You want to protect yourself? You got to read what the stupid people are doing. Your politicians, the people that represent you in Congress and the Senate. You go, fuck, these guys said it again. What do we have to do? Teach our kids to get involved in local government to pick the people who are going to represent us. I didn't do that with my kids. DeLuca's got to do it.
What do
from
you
day
mean
one.
you didn't do that
I
with
didn't
us?
tell you. I didn't know who my councilman was here in
Oh, yeah,
Ontario.
no, you didn't.
Yeah. who
No,
cares?
but you did always made me feel like I had to know what was going on. If I wasn't
In your
reading
community.
Newsweek magazine, like, you don't know what's going on. So I
Well, that's
always
it.
felt this like, fuck, I gotta know. But for
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. For who?
to know? Okay, cool, I
No,
know.
no, well,
And I'm aware and I understand. And just to become a diverse person and just to,
look,
you know.
Today the 3 men went out for a drink at the bar.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Because this is about DeLuca, so we took him to a bar today. Yeah. It
It's
was his first-
important.
it was his first
It's
bar.
important.
Important. And Mike said something really, really interesting. You know, his jolly old self as he is, right? Positive, go. He says, Dad, we live in a world with everybody fucking lies. Everybody lies. This is true.
My brother's
Yeah,
so
right.
dark.
Everybody lies. And Ricky, he's right. Okay,
Yeah.
he's right. Last time I was here, I said, did you see what George Santos said? And you said, who's George Santos?
I didn't know.
Love that.
Because I was off of
Exactly
social
it,
media. I didn't
Ricky.
care. But Dad, but that's the point. I didn't care because
But you-
I had to take care of myself. I had things that I had to
You
do
need
for myself.
to know that this monster exists.
Dad, I already know that the world is filled with liars. I don't give a shit who George is because he doesn't impact my life. I have people that I'm directly related to who are lying to me daily.
He impacts other people's lives.
Right. I only care about the people that impact me daily who are lying
Well,
to
that's
me.
a little selfish, isn't it?
But I think so there's an important point here though that we don't want to miss.
And we
Rickie-
all lie. I lie all the time.
Rickie just said that she missed it because she wasn't on social media.
Yes.
So
But I'm not on social media.
I wasn't on the internet. I wasn't on anything. I was on just like wake up and there's my life.
So
was on
you
nothing.
see, so we're talking about how, we don't need these apps and we don't want to give DeLuca an iPad to start learning things, but look at how much you miss out on without it.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
is DeLuca
okay,
gonna talk to
okay,
you
so-
about if
so-
Natalie doesn't give him an iPad
So
and he's not on social media or the internet?
I was at the airport about a month ago, catching a flight in the morning, breakfast at the airport restaurant, and this little 5-year-old, 6-year-old girl was screaming and yelling. I'm thinking, it's 6:45 in the morning. I'm enjoying my coffee. Is anybody going to shut her up? Because there's 5 women and a little girl. Is anybody? And she's screaming and yelling, screaming. I go, seriously, who is the bad mother there and the bad grandmother? Can't control the
Dad,
situation.
that is
And
so much judgment.
And then, boom, out comes the iPad. And then,
That's it.
okay, that's wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
No, let me finish. That's wrong. I want DeLuca to show up at 5 years, at same age, and he's sitting down. Mom, what do you think about the croissant and coffee, a little bit of milk?
It's possible.
Yes,
It's
see,
possible.
Ricky,
Stop.
It is
if you
possible.
treat him
I
as
do have
adults
nieces and
and you
nephews like that.
engage him
Dad.
at the table,
Dad,
what?
there are stories of us traveling where I was not allowed to sit still for 1 minute because you guys, if I cried or if I was unsettled, you guys had a book or a coloring book or some kind of activity in front of me to distract me from not learning how to be still. It's the same thing with an iPad. It's no different. One's tangible, one's not. But the point is that you put something in front of me to
Yeah.
to stop
Right.
me from crying. So it's the same thing, just a little bit different.
Yeah, but I think when they put that iPad, you could see the hypnotism all of a sudden. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
put a chile jalapeno, let her go, right? Experience something like that. Well, that's what you get for crying here at a restaurant.
All right, so if you're taking care of DeLuca and you're on a flight and it's just you and DeLuca and he starts losing his shit, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I've got a cargo vest with all kinds
Cargo
of stuff.
vest.
A cargo vest.
Cargo vest.
Yeah, with the, all kinds of goodies. Un tamarindo, un jarrito over
I
here.
can't wait.
Yes,
I
galletitas
can't
por
That they're
acá.
not gonna let you on the plane at that point.
You have too
I'm
much.
gonna be walking. You can hear all the plastic with all the stuff. No, he'll be entertained, but no iPad. No iPad.
Yeah, I
We're
think
gonna
it's
have a
fair.
conversation. The Greeks, remember how they passed on their philosophy? Conversation, conversation, conversation. We need to converse more with our kids.
Oral history.
Yes, we need to talk to them
Oral history.
a lot.
Yeah, I think that these days it's harder for parents to engage and do all of those things. And I don't want to make excuses for anyone, right? But the perception or what I'm seeing is that maybe these parents are giving them these iPads because they themselves are burnt out. Look at them. Oh, I'm just going to do the same thing because I don't know how to have a conversation. I'm tired. I don't even want to fill my life with anything else because I'm at capacity. You know what I mean?
You're right. And we are all at fault. We've done it. You know, sometimes when we go to restaurant,
Self-awareness.
even with our immediate nuclear family, we take out the phone, right? It's not like you're the CEO of, Amazon or something that you got to be checked. No, we should put the phone away, all of us. And if our kids see that,
Yeah, they
we
pick
set
up on
the
that
example,
behavior, yeah.
right? Then you're there to have a meal, share, break bread.
Yeah.
I mean,
bread.
break bread
Yeah.
and have a conversation. We try to do that, and it's not all the time. It's put away the phone, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't have a conversation, then we adults are doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not making it entertaining for them or
Right.
interesting for that matter.
Engaging.
That's a lot of pressure, though.
What do you mean?
You're saying we're not making it entertaining enough. We're not making, them
We're not
want to
stimulating
engage.
them.
We're not stimulating them. Do you feel that you've always had that pressure to have that kind of maintenance with everyone around you, that whenever you show up anywhere, whatever dinner table, whatever event that you're going to, that you have to keep people engaged? Do you feel that pressure?
I don't feel the pressure, but I like to have a meal and have an engaging conversation. Oh yeah, when I'm with a business meeting and that other person has no conversation, no engagement, check please. I don't want the dessert. I'm out of here.
Yeah. In and out.
Yeah, you have a better time just saying goodbye at the entrance of the restaurant. Right, you see him go, and then you go to the bar and sit there. Hey, how's it going, buddy? And then, how about the Dodgers? And then the conversation starts. Right, you gotta be able to. You gotta have a topic, something.
Yeah. How's the weather?
Yeah,
So you could never sit in silence with anybody?
and speak to my ancestors.
No. So you don't know how to sit in silence or be still.
It's a good one.
It is a good one because that's kind of how I experienced my dad, right? Like, it's his always go time. Like, you got to do this. And I'm like, damn, that's got to be exhausting for my dad to always, have to be on point and perform and make sure that everyone is good. And did we do this and did we do that? Like, I'm looking at my dad like, when is this going to wear out for him? When is he going to just, like, learn how to be still? And maybe you're not going to learn how to be still. But that's why I think, like, that's a lot of pressure.
Why?
That's a lot of, what do you mean, why?
Because you're like, you have to perform. You're on a constant go, go, go.
Yeah.
And you be this, you have to be this thing.
This entity of entertainment, of engagement, and of education. And when I say education, right, like, it's like, look, everybody, we're going to eat this because this came from here and this is that. And, like, and making sure that everyone understands the importance of the 5 senses. And, like, you really want people to experience life how you experience it. It's almost like that's a goal for you, right? But a lot of people don't care, or they're not going to do that, or it doesn't matter to them. But it is a cross you bear.
No, I was talking about when I go out for my business meetings, right?
Right.
Even the business meeting, I'm looking forward to meal, right? Let's go to dinner. And so it's protocol that you take out the client. But again, if the client, it's like,
they're not Yeah, because now you're in a professional setting and there is a form of entertainment there.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're expecting like, hey, where's the after, right? And which is the thing, because party of 2, right? Party of 2, like and I would go on the Thursday to the Valle. We have the late lunch as usual, 4 to 5, and she knows as we're driving back, right? She goes, el after? I go, that's right, Punta Morro. We're going to have the after there, right? And we engage and have a conversation, and it's so cool. Even if it's just 2, Rickie.
As it should be.
I don't need no spirits around me. There's so many living people to share.
I can't wait till you die, Dad.
No, stop.
I cannot wait till you die. Because your ass is going to be knocking on my door like, it's real. The afterlife is real, Rickie.
I just don't understand.
Dad, you're going to be knocking at my door.
Your need to talk to ghosts when your kids, Mom, can you
they're
talk to
not
me?
ghosts.
I'm busy talking to your grandmother. I'm talking to your grandmother. But, Mom, I need a ride to work. Shut up. I'm talking to your grandma, your dead grandma. So what were you saying, Roberta? How's Ventura? Really? No. Really?
Dad,
okay.
Just remember this day, because your great-great-grandkids are going to watch this. When your ass dies, you're going to be coming at me all excited with your energy, with your spiritual force, chaos in my life to make it known that there is an afterlife. I promise you that you will.
There's going to be
I
books
promise
being
you
thrown
that.
down the shelf.
If
That's going
if
to
that
be
were
you.
even possible,
It is.
I will have fun.
I know you will. I
yeah.
know you will.
You're going to wake up on the other side of the bed and go, where am I? And you go,
All
oh,
right,
Dad, that was so funny.
Okay,
Really?
okay,
Like
okay,
that?
okay. I got something for you. Right? One night, in my room, I have a very tall bookshelf, right?
We all have those
No.
stories. Rickie. We all
I was
have-
hoping you were going to tell this story.
I want you to explain this to me. I have my 2 bookshelves, right, with all my heavy books, and then in between that, a television, right? It's very sturdy, heavy, firm, all that stuff, right? It's a late night. We're here in the studio. Everyone's doing their thing in here. The kids run in here like, Mama, the bookshelf just fell. What do you mean the bookshelf just fell? This entire bookshelf, which had my Aunt Rosie's ashes on top of that bookshelf, came flying forward, bookshelf, books, ashes, and all, and just fell all over my room. There was no earthquake. There was nobody in there trying to pull the shelf down. It scared the shit out of everybody. How do you explain that?
Well, she was a little overweight.
Vicente!
What?
That's my point. Like, he meow.
And didn't you say that like the thing that it was on didn't break? Like everything fell and trampled, but
My Aunt Rosie is in a bottle of Hendrick's gin, super glued, but she landed like straight on hard wood because it landed on a block. Nothing happened to her ashes. I was like, fuck, her ashes are going to be everywhere. Nothing happened. And then after that, I had the conversation with Jasper, who who didn't know that had happened. She was like, your Aunt Rosie doesn't like where she's at. You got to move her.
Yeah.
Move her?
Yeah.
What? What are you talking about? So explain that.
Coincidence or what?
No.
How does an entire bookshelf
Look.
fall forward, Dad? Explain that.
Look, I've seen things move when they're not supposed to move, right? I've had those stories too, Rickie.
Okay, so how do you explain that?
There's always an explanation. So I'll tell the short one because of one thing moving.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
No, my tío Vicente died, right, 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Oscar and I decided it's the 23rd, no, 24th in the morning, right? Christmas Eve. And there's no flights to Torreon. So Oscar said, well, let's just drive Mom and Dad, right, to Torreon.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, so jump in the car, take off. And it's around noon, Arizona desert, right? My parents, I thought, were asleep in the back. And Oscar's asleep, and I'm driving. Radio's off. And I'm thinking, when I get there, and I was visualizing, when I get there and he's laying in the coffin, I'm going to put my hand, what am I going to tell my tío Vicente? And then radio turns off, boop, right there.
Exactly.
Right, and I go, I saw that, and then
His
I
ass
looked
was
over,
watching
I
you.
looked over the rearview mirror, and my mom was like this. And I go, Mom, ¿viste eso? She goes, yeah, se prendió solo,
Yeah.
right? Years later,
Oh, God.
I figured it out when I went to Puerto Peñasco. I figured it out. But see, at
You
that
figured what out?
wait,
Yeah.
at that time, it was a ooh moment, right? Okay. I
Was
had
it
no
glitch?
explanation. But I'm not gonna go. It was my tío Vicente who was saying, "Hey, thanks for thinking of me. You're thinking." No.
Okay, so what was the explanation?
Yeah.
Well, what happened when I was in Puerto Peñasco, I had it on an AM station, right? And I was and then it faded. I didn't notice that the signal was gone, so there was
Oh.
nothing. And all of a sudden, I'm driving,
You drove
right?
into the
And then
antenna.
in about a half hour, boom! It jumps in again. Go, what the fuck, right?
You said the radio was off completely.
I don't remember if it was off, but the fact that it went back on when I was Puerto Rico, that's what happened.
Okay.
At the desert.
And that makes sense.
That's it.
Okay, how do you explain my bookshelf?
I already told you.
No. Okay, so you do believe. Okay.
I
No.
do sometimes. My grandfather from my dad's side, he was a heavy smoker, and sometimes out of nowhere, I'll get the smell of smoke, and there's no one around me. There's no cigarette smoke, and I'm thinking, oh, it's my grandpa. He's here. How do you explain?
Pay
that one?
attention, Dad. Pay attention.
I pay attention.
Pay attention.
Those are
Listen.
those are the historias de señoras already. Ustedes son las señoras del
Officially,
pueblo.
I'm a señora.
Officially, señora del pueblo.
And I am here for it.
I accept
No,
that.
but you got to do it in the señora pueblo thing, right? When you tell the story.
Oh shit.
You got to breathe in when you tell the story. Entonces estaba la señora.
No,
Yes,
hold
ma'am.
on, hold on.
Sí, estaba la comadre sentada y cuando de repente se le aparece el espíritu que no puede.
Ricky, are we the señoras?
We are.
You keep
Welcome
telling
to
ghost
the
stories.
Señora
Keep stories,
podcast.
ghost stories. You're señoras.
Let me tell you.
Oh,
in that same town that my brother and I would go and visit in Prajeris Guerrero in Chihuahua, I remember there was one night the hail was coming down. It was so stormy. And I remember my grandmother telling me, es que está el diablo afuera ahorita, ya lo vieron con las patas de pollo. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh my God, the devil's outside.
Prajeris Guerreros is literally poltergeist in Spanish, right?
I believed all of it. I was scared to go outside. I was like, this
Hell
is it.
no.
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
All the Swex, Ricky, had ghost stories of that town.
Hey.
All my cousins
That's hilarious.
had a ghost story. Everybody. It's because there was nothing else to do.
Hey, it was very creative and it scared me. And I felt that it was real. So, you
Okay,
know.
so next podcast, I come here, you go, so what have you told your inner ghost?
Your
Your
spirit.
ancestors
Your
and
inner-
your
what have
spirit.
you told your inner
Get ghosts out of
spirit?
your system. It's your spirit, Dad. You have a big spirit. When
Boom.
you die, nothing is going to kill your spirit. And that's my
Boom.
point.
Okay, so here, and I'm upset. at entertainment, you know, because you guys still had it, you know,
We
how
did
they
okay.
interpret dead people, right? Your movies and stuff. My movies, they were all like white, and they were just wiggly like this. They had no, they had no feet, you know.
Yeah.
Casper and all his family.
Casper the
That
friendly
was
ghost.
my ghost,
Yeah.
right? That was so stupid. As we start evolving, they all of a sudden had feet. The ghost, like Sixth Sense. Remember that?
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. But in my day, it was like white stuff.
Yeah.
You had the
ooh.
birds, Alfred Hitchcock. That was a scary ass movie, Dad.
That was a scary movie.
That was
Yeah,
a scary movie.
that was a scary movie. Yeah, I like scary movies.
I enjoy.
I
scary
don't
movies.
know. No, oh, actually, I stayed when Natalie was having her baby, and I was taking care of the house. I was on her Netflix, and I was like, "What do you watch? This is all dark. It's all
Yeah.
scary
Yeah, I
movies.
watch
What is
pretty
my
scary
nephew
movies.
watching?"
You like
Yeah. I like scary movies, and
No.
that's from my mom. My
Hard
mom,
pass.
my mom and my sister will sit in the dark by themselves
Nope.
and watch the not weirdest, the scariest shit ever. And I'm like, what are you doing? Amityville Horror,
Nope.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Exorcist, all of those movies. They're all about that.
You know, the more it's tied to the church,
Mm-hmm.
the more credible, right?
Mhm.
So the zombies thing, it's more entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's more like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like a Exorcist or
Yeah.
Amityville, it's like, oh, you know,
Yeah, that's
even the priest
scary.
with the holy water can't do anything. It's like, oh, fuck!
Okay, but let's talk about real life things. Did you watch the Dahmer documentary?
Oh yeah, Dahmer's scary.
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay, I watched that at Natalie's house, and I could only watch it during the day. I wouldn't watch it at night there, and then I would come back.
Why is that scary?
Oh, really?
Oh, it's evil.
Why is that scary? You, Dahmer?
Yeah, he was a
Is that the
satanic.
Netflix
Yes.
series?
Yeah, he's the guy that was kill. He would
Yeah.
like almost like date rape the men at the gay club,
Yeah.
And torture them
He would
and
torture
kill them
and then eat their body parts.
and eat their body parts.
Well,
How
what?
was that not scary?
No, to me, see, I knew the story, right?
Well, yeah, it was your era.
To me, what was more incredible, I think the story on that particular series was the neighbor that kept smelling it and
Oh yeah,
reporting
the
it.
pobrecita.
Oh,
la
yes.
señora.
That was
I
terrible.
was like, my God, she knows what she's smelling and nobody believes her.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that to me is like, I know what this guy
That's
did.
the horror.
It's
Mhm.
that yeah, she
Yeah.
was living a horror thing. What are you cooking there?
Yes.
And then every time,
And she wouldn't move.
yeah,
She stayed there.
yeah, that's right.
That's what messed
See,
me up.
see that
That's horror, Dad.
that is scary.
That is true.
Ghosts, spirits, no. People like that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be close to.
Mm-mm.
Now, they found out about him. What was the guy before him?
There was a lot of guys.
Wasn't it the clown guy?
The clown guy came just about after him.
Oh, after him.
It was the
So
Unabomber.
those are the ones.
but-
No, he ate people too. Those are the ones that that we know about.
Right?
Think about
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
even worse.
Think about the
Exactly.
ones that onesies and twosies, right?
Mhm.
Only just one person, and yeah, just for the experience,
Let me see.
right? Yeah, I won't do the right, and they get away with it, and
Yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah.
I just want to
so
try
sad.
this real quick.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, this took a turn. Well, you know what? I'm excited for De Luca's upbringing and all of the wonderful things that he's going to experience, including Christmas
And Dahmer.
and Dahmer later on, later when he's ready, when he's old enough, not when he's 5, but
And
Yeah.
and then I'll take a note. I'm going to try to speak Spanish too.
Yes,
So
I-
I really do want him.
I
This
think
is
that's
all
all
on
of us.
you.
All
This
of
is
us
all
are
on
really
you.
making a conscious effort to
Yeah.
speak Spanish to him.
I think
It's
we
important.
should. We should.
It's important.
Yeah, because
sure.
I mean, Mondo's studying right now
He is.
Spanish. Yeah,
Your nephew.
yeah,
Mhm.
Mondo.
My kids too.
Yeah.
Mia's singing norteñas and
Oh, she's
corridos.
yeah, that's right.
She knows how to sing all of those songs.
Narco corridos.
Yes.
Oh, that's really
she knows
good.
all the Chalino Sanchez songs, all the Jenny Rivera songs,
I love Mia.
like to a T. She can sing them to
So
you.
we got our task here.
Yes, we do.
We're good.
I like it. I like that challenge.
Challenge accepted.
It'll be fun. All right, well, thank you for having us. For having us. Shit. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime.
No, it's.
You want-
it's
Vicente, do you wanna
ustedes
close out?
jengibre. Look at that. Ustedes jengibre. I didn't even use my Mexican Kleenex.
God.
wanna use it now.
You know
so
why?
we can
Because
get
you've
it
had
on
enough
screen.
drugs and tea and vaporub.
I know. I had already Benadryl, Claritin. What did you give me?
Generic Zyrtec
Zyrtec, whiskey,
whiskey.
and Dayquil.
Dad,
All today.
you're high right now.
No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Gonna pass out in like 10 minutes. All right, you guys. Today's episode was produced live by Raymond Andrew at Rose City Sound with
Shout
your
out to
host.
Raymond.
Hey.
Yes. Our host, Rickie Lee, and myself. For inquiries, topic suggestions, and sponsorships, please email us at onthisfrequency@gmail.com. On This Frequency is available where all podcasts can be streamed. Watch a live stream recording every Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/onthisfrequency. You can always support the On This Frequency team by buying us some coffee. You can send us your donation at buymeacoffee.com/onthisfrequency. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on YouTube with the handle at On This Frequency. So follow, like, subscribe, tell your friends. We love you. Increase the peace.
Vénganse, vénganse. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a llorar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a jugar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a cantar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a fumar hoy, hoy, hoy. Vamos a tomar hoy, hoy, hoy.
All right.
Thank you, everybody on the chat,
Yes.
for listening in and laughing with us.
I'm trying to chime in here.
Do you know what a chat is, Dad?
So we're
Yeah.
on Twitch.
Oh yeah. No. In school, I had chat y chato. Right?
No.
No.
So with technology now, we have this amazing ability.
Yeah, to chat with people
chat with-
online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
but are we doing it live?
Yes.
Yeah,
and they're
we're
watching
live.
you right now.
You see what
No.
happens when you get high on all of your medications. I can't log in, but what are the people saying? What do we got?
I think they were probably laughing mostly at some of these ghost stories and sharing the playlists, right? The music that we leave behind for our kids. So
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I need to do a better job of setting up my iCloud and all of my content. And like, what if I die or something? How are you gonna be able to access my things?
yes. Oh, no chat with the vest. Yeah, you took the Ensenada vest off.
I
That's
think
a
it-
classic
Yeah,
staple to
Ensenada.
Ensenada. You gotta have that vest.
He actually
it's
gave one
warm
to
in here.
DeLuca. DeLuca has one
It's
too.
cold in here, Dad. It's piping cold in
It's
here.
all this stuff.
It might be, but it is a little warm. I started
There
getting
you
hot
go.
too.
See?
What?
Yeah.
It's
I'm a little
warm,
warm.
Ricky, or it's a
The
big
vaporub.
vaporub right here.
No, you know what it is? It's all the spirits coming in here and warming this space because they do exist, Dad.
Your grandparents.
You're not going to tell me that you haven't had some weird dream where a family member comes to you and they deliver some message to you. And you're like, it's just a dream. It's not.
I've had some situations, not dreams, right?
Oh, there you go,
That you
situations.
can't explain, but it's your body, Ricky. It's your body that plays tricks on you. The one that I will never forget was honeymoon with your mom.
Honeymoon?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Parras.
Where's Parras?
See, Ricky.
I don't know where that's at.
So if you wake up in the morning and read the paper, you know where Parras is at,
You
but you don't
see
know
what
where
I'm
Parras is
never
that
at.
is.
informed enough.
Okay? Parras, Coahuila is a little town just outside
Coahuila,
of
where Torreon is
where
at.
they make wine.
Okay,
Right.
I know that part.
So we drove from Juarez to Parras, and we were so tired. I had been drinking for days that
Jesus Christ.
I had diarrhea on the way over there, right? and it was so embarrassing because it's your honeymoon, and I rented a hotel because I got stuck at a Pemex and there was no toilet paper. There was a Sunday, so there was only the Sunday comics, the color ones. So that's what I had to wipe my ass.
No, you
Right?
did it,
I
Dad.
probably I did. I had to use that. That was on the floor. Comics in color. and I wiped my ass with it. I guarantee you it was.
Actually, I believe you because I had to do a similar thing
Yeah.
with Natalie. Okay,
Yeah.
I believe
No,
you.
you don't know that was me.
But they're scrunchy. I believe you. I believe
So
you.
we get to the town,
Mm-hmm.
right? The brochure had this hotel that looks really cool.
Okay.
But we got there at midnight,
Okay.
and it was like something out of a horror movie. 2-story hotel in the middle of nowhere, and a German Shepherd dog just sitting like a statue, right? And I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of weird.
Right.
So I get out and then to check in, there was nobody there. Ringing the little bell. Guy comes out. I get the key. I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, how exhausted was I? We're here-
Exhausted and drunk.
Yeah, drunk. That we made a stop. Juarez
Okay.
and Chihuahua. I said, I can't anymore. Right. So we stopped in Chihuahua, and then I heard we didn't have an alarm, so I heard the neighbors say, in English because they were from the U.S. All right, man. So we're gonna get up at 6 o'clock and leave here. All right, right. So that's what they said, 6 o'clock, right? So I dozed, and I heard the people. I told guys, let's go. They're here, and I woke up, start shaving and everything. We only slept 2 hours. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my god.
And I felt so embarrassed to go back to sleep because I turned the key. So we start driving. That's why I had not slept at all.
Okay.
We go to Parras. I get there, and I'm just exhausted and scared to death because there's no cars. And our room is all the way around the other back. There's a little forest, right? And we go in. I unloaded everything. I remember just falling in bed and I'm going to go to the bathroom, take a shower or something because it was late. She goes in there, and I was laying there. All of a sudden, I hear the door open and somebody come in, and I couldn't get up, and I was going, and I was screaming, "Glad, stay in the bathroom, stay in the bathroom."
Did you have
And
sleep
and
paralysis?
I wanted to get up, but I couldn't, and then I felt the person stand right here, and
That's
I couldn't do
extreme.
that. I go, just do it, right? And then all of a sudden, the bathroom door opens, and your mom says something to me. I go, and I looked at. Did you see something? She goes, no, somebody was standing right here.
That's
She goes,
great.
no, I was in there. And it was, just.
You're
a
just
weird-
paralyzed.
Right. So, we went to sleep. And then I woke up in the morning and I go, well, see, everything's okay. I went outside. Guess what I had done? I let the key on the door outside.
Okay.
So anybody could have gone in and says, oh,
Mm.
open it. And then
No. Thank goodness that wasn't your story.
Thank goodness that wasn't your story. But you were just drunk and exhausted, though.
Oh, yeah,
That's what it was.
See, that's why your mind plays tricks on you. You see things. Now, going back to the Rosie story, Rickie, the whatever stand could have been defective, the wood would have been old, and boom. There's so many explanations. Rickie.
No, there's not.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
that the whole thing fell forward. So even if it was defective, right, and it crushed within, then I could see all the shelves falling down. It didn't fall down. It went forward. That's the difference. Because I thought about that too. All right, cool. The shelves may have broken. That's what I have pictures of this because I had no. Now, Ray did give me an edible that night.
Oh.
And it was very effective, which is why I took pictures because I was like, everyone's gonna think I was high. I wasn't. I took pictures of it because I was like, this is real. This is scary.
Where was that house, Rickie? You gave me the edible for the first time
The house on D Street.
on D Street.
And we told you don't eat. Just eat a piece. And my dad ate the whole fucking cookie, the whole edible.
Oh man, you must have been high for like 5
They-
days.
No, he
they
knocked
took
out
me-
for like
They took me
days.
upstairs, and I was living in L.A. They took me upstairs, and I remember just laying there.
he was in the fetal position.
I was
Like
in a position, and I could see like gnomes.
Oh my
trying
god.
to chew me, and I would laugh. And go,
he said gnomes.
troll, stop! It was
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
ah.
Wait, so you still haven't done mushrooms yet?
No,
Dad, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, I thought you would have already.
My
You of all
dad,
people.
he has sent the entire family a lot of, reading documents, how to educate yourself on selecting the right
no,
mushrooms.
that was Oscar.
No, it was you.
That was me.
Yes, it was you. Uncle Oscar did them. You didn't, but you had a lot of the videos to watch and all that stuff. But you still haven't done them. Like I'm
You-
surprised you're sleeping on this.
You-
If you saw gnomes off of edibles,
I'll tell you why I haven't done it. So Oscar did it, right? And so I remember being in the car with him.
When he did it?
No, tell me the story.
Right.
So we're going to work in Vegas, telling the story of his experience.
Mm.
And he's got classical music.
Playing while he's telling you the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you go, what's with the classical music? Go, after that, that's all I listen to, classical.
Mm.
It's the experience made me go through, okay, and I don't drink anymore.
Or coffee.
Or
either.
coffee, go, hell no. I don't want that. If I'm going to have mushrooms, listen to classical music and not drink, and I love my cigars once in a while. I don't, no.
Dad,
no.
that's not the point.
Well,
Because
it affected him.
It did, but not
In a good
necessarily
way.
in a bad way. It was
Yeah.
in a good way. He's experiencing things differently. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink coffee. He's listening to classical music, and maybe his intake is a different experience.
I'd rather do the cookie and see those gnomes and trolls.
No. I think you're afraid to do
I was
mushrooms,
just
and
gonna
that's
say
why
that.
you
No,
haven't.
no,
No, you're
no.
100% afraid because
Yeah.
that's when the real inner child's gonna come out and be like, "Oh,
No.
Vicente."
Yeah, hug me.
What's the next step after mushrooms? What do you do?
I haven't done anything after mushrooms.
When you
There's
want to do
nothing else.
LSD, they tell you do the mushrooms first, and then you do LSD. So Carlos and I are going to do LSD. I'm going to go straight to the.
Dad,
No, just do mushrooms.
Just do mushrooms first.
Just do mushrooms.
The next, we'll invite you onto
The-
this podcast. We'll
I'll
do
do
the
mushrooms.
mushrooms, and we'll interview you while you're going through your experience. I'm telling you, I honestly believe.
Oh, while I'm going through the
yeah,
mushroom.
while you're going
Oh,
through it, while
yeah.
you're going through it, because I'm telling
gonna
you,
be elevated like The Exorcist.
no, no.
like this.
But I think that
Looking
you,
at your
My
I,
head's
chicken
going to
sweater.
I think that you will access a part of you that maybe you've been denying yourself from. I think you might actually hear your voice for the first time.
Well, let me ask you: have you applied that experience of your mushroom trip?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
why I
think she
didn't
has to.
recognize you.
I've only done mushrooms a couple of times, but the first time it was very effective, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like we did it together.
Yeah.
It was a different experience for her than it was for me.
Which dose?
Huh?
Which
What?
dose?
I don't remember. My brother just put it there, and we ate it.
We had
There-
like 2 mushrooms apiece.
We had too much.
No,
No, I.
there's a super dose. There's a Hercules. Oscar did the Hercules.
Hey, no, I would never do that.
Wow.
That's a lot. That you're going in.
He did the first one, and and at the end I think did two. So then he goes and does a Hercules.
No.
Well, let's go. Let's
But
do that.
let's do that. But because it was you and I did have different experiences with
Yeah.
it. But I went in
Yeah.
very much wanting to know like what was gonna happen and what I wanted to uncover with it. And it's different. Like if you're gonna do it just to get high and just to be on mushrooms, that's one thing. But when you're going in there because you really want to have
The intentionality behind it.
intention and your subconsciousness and connecting with all that, that's a whole different. It's a whole different thing.
I don't know.
Whole different thing.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
the next time you come out here-
I'm pretty sure if I do it, I'll see spirits and ghosts at that time. Yeah.
You'll see all of your ancestors.
Yeah.
So the next time you come on here, we'll get some mushrooms,
Yeah.
and then we'll do them together, and then we'll
We'll
you're
report
not,
on the
You're
experience.
not gonna do a Hercules serving. You're just gonna do a mild serving so that you could get through this and access just a little bit of what's
On the
inside.
show.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
There it is. It's gonna happen.
Mushroom.
Y'all heard it here first.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
All right. Well,
I feel better with this thing.
I'm so glad.
There's
That makes
mushrooms
me
in there.
happy.
Yeah,
You
I really
see,
like it.
my little remedies.
What is in
I
the
love it.
remedy?
It was a piece of ginger about the size of your thumb, or a little bit bigger. It was a lemon cut in half. So a lemon cut in half, and then 3 cinnamon sticks.
Okay. It smells really good.
Boil
Yeah,
them
it
Smells
in
like
water.
Christmas in your mouth.
Yes,
Christmas in
that's
your mouth.
exactly it.
It's Christmas
Boil
in
it
your mouth.
about 10-15 minutes. Put some manuka honey. Stir, 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 and then enjoy.
It's really good.
There it is.
I'm glad. That
Wait,
makes me
but
happy.
didn't you just buy some mushroom gummies? And Mike bought some too, didn't
No, they're
he
not
take some?
gummies. They're
Mike
What
got
are they?
mushroom vitamins.
they're capsules.
But no, Mike, you see, it's funny because Mike is expressing his excitement about these mushrooms like they're hallucinogens, but they're not. They're not hallucinogens.
But
They're,
he thinks that they're or he's
he's
experiencing them as such.
no, when he's presenting it to you, he's acting like they're hallucinogens, and I'm like, Mike, they're just mushrooms. It's like if you were to take echinacea vitamins, it's because there's a plant. So they're not hallucinogens. It's lion's mane and reishi
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. So.
But have you noticed the change in him? Do you feel like it's helping him? He said that he really hyper focuses and he's like in a zone.
Maybe, you know what? I have not seen a difference. So he just started taking them this week. So I don't know if maybe he's experiencing it.
I think they take a minute to kick in.
So I don't know. Maybe like when he's working in his focus, he's probably able to notice it right away. But I haven't been able to see whoa, Mike, look at these magic.
A difference. Because you bought the same ones that he did.
I only took them one day. I gotta go back to them.
Well, they say that you have to take it regularly, like all the time, and then it's more of a long-term effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Why?
They
Yeah.
they say you have to take them because then you're gonna be buying them every 30 days.
So here's the thing: when I was doing it and I was on it for a while, I stopped drinking coffee. Like I had no desire to drink coffee, and to this day, I'm like, what can I supplement for that yearning coffee? Because I don't take them anymore. But
you should take them again because it's a natural supplement.
It is a natural supplement.
It's good,
and
it's good for you.
Yeah, I missed coffee in my life. So
good.
Otto said she's kind of off tonight. She was shocked you left quick. She didn't understand you were staying next door. Who?
Rick says hi. Rick Otto's listening.
Ah.
Rick Otto's encouraging you to take mushrooms.
I want to do the mushrooms. I want to do the mushrooms.
For real, I think Mike has a good source. The last ones that I did with him were at your house, actually, and they were really effective. I liked them.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it.
I'm excited.
Pencil it in.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be in a safe space around people who care about you. And so if anything crazy goes on,
which nothing will, as long as you.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
You have a good mindset going in.
Be ready, Dad. It's happening live.
Will I be able to see my gnomes and my trolls?
You're probably going to see worse or better. Unicorns, rainbows, butterflies.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I don't.
You have no expectation.
That's it. That's it. Yes, I know the stories about. See, that's why I want to go straight to LSD, because of Steve Jobs. Said when he did LSD, the iPhone idea came to him, and the Beatles did the Magical Mystery Tour album.
Okay, so what's gonna be your response? What do you think if you do LSD? What's gonna be your iPhone or your album?
I don't know. See, now that's my Santa Claus. I'll take that and let's see what it's going to give me, right? Think about it.
Right, and what if it tells you, you know what, you don't need to do your movie. Just go be a monk.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Leave everything you know and just be a monk.
Plot twist.
Wait, are you talking about if the mushrooms tell me that or the LSD tell me that?
Either one.
Either one. LSD tells you that.
Then I'm going to say it wasn't good LSD. Somebody just bought some
Exactly.
junk.
You're not going to be satisfied with it.
We got to go buy some real LSD.
And if you got the same LSD that Steve Jobs had, the same cut from the
It's got to have a little
batch,
apple. It's got to have
same
a little
batch,
apple.
and it tells you to be a monk. Are you going to do it?
Ricky, that's not going to happen.
It's a hypothetical situation.
No. It's. I have a feeling that the experience of the mushrooms and the LSD, it just enhances your your consciousness, subconscious, and the last one, consciente, subconsciente, inconsciente.
Unconscious.
Unconscious. Yes. So even if you're unconscious, there is a conscious there, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But the only one who has the floor is consciousness. That's the one that's talking.
That's a good point.
And the subconscious is always on the bench waiting for his moment. that only gets off the bench when the conscious is drunk.
Right.
And takes a break. Subconscious starts talking all that shit. Well, your mama said this, and
right.
Because that's the subconscious. But the unconscious is still there waiting.
Okay.
So it's when you do the drugs, it awakens the unconscious.
Right. And I wrote everything my unconsciousness told me. I wrote everything down. When I took the mushrooms for the first time, I wrote everything down. My unconscious was like, I'm here, I'm present, and this is what you need to know, and this is what you need to do. And I wrote everything down because I was afraid.
What? So you wrote?
Yeah. I have sticky notes. I don't know why I had sticky notes around me, and I had a brown paper bag, and I had a pen, and I was just constantly.
I think Oscar had Ariana record him everything he was saying.
Oh, really? There's footage? Oh, that's
no, I think I gotta ask Oscar because I think he documented his experience.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
Really good idea.
And that's actually how my mom did the mushrooms, because we showed her a video of a 64-year-old lady who was doing it for the first time, and her son recorded the whole thing. And my mom was like, "Oh, it doesn't look that bad." And it was my mom who came in and just grabbed the mushrooms and popped them in her mouth.
Yeah,
and we were like, "What?"
She was really ballsy. I was like,
she was
"Oh,
very
okay.
ballsy.
Let me put this in my mouth then."
And then we all followed her thereafter, so it lined up pretty well. But I wrote everything down. I didn't want to forget anything that I was saying, and I still have those notes. I still look back, and they're very relevant to my day-to-day life.
So what was exactly your Steve Jobs moment then?
That I don't listen to my own voice. That I have this amazing, incredible, beautiful voice within, and I'm just shutting it down. And I won't just liberate myself from that. And so in my moment, I was telling myself, like, you're here, you're right here, I'm here. And I just won't acknowledge that part of myself.
But it's coming because we have this podcast that you speak on.
Little by little, baby steps.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Told me where I was going to go, what I was going to do, who the people in my life were going to be. It was a really good experience.
I'm going to do
with it?
But again, I'm with it. But again, I think it's going to be another experience and say, okay, I did it.
Yeah. At least to say, like, you know what, I did this.
Yeah.
Check it off my box of list of things.
I participate in fintechs applications, right? So I'm going to get the Uber idea to do an application. Because I've been thinking about, I got some friends to go, hey, let's do an app. Well, what kind of app? Well, I don't know. Well, let's get high. And it's an idea that's going to come up.
Actually, I think it's good for you just to, how you said, your subconscious consciousness and
unconscious.
Try your intention going into it should be like, what does my unconsciousness want me to know? Just with that single intention on its own, that'll give you a lot of answers. That's a good way to get into it.
I believe most of the sessions that people go to psychologists and psychiatrists, it's basically that, right? It's they want to get to that level. Because, I mean, there's books and books on that subject as to, well, subconsciously you're thinking this. Well, that was the unconscious.
Yeah, that's really hard to access that part of yourself, though. It's really difficult. Meditation can also help you get there, but the mushroom is just an easy access there.
I agree.
So knowing that when the next time we gather together and you do the mushrooms, the goal will be to tap into your unconsciousness. What does that unconscious part of your mind say? What does it want to convey to you? And I think it'll be something you do not expect.
How long does it take to take effect?
20 minutes?
Yeah, it's quick.
You pop it in, and then your stomach feels woozy, and you feel like you want to throw up.
Yeah.
You feel nauseous, and then nothing happens, and then
you
boom,
go in.
You just go. You just go.
But some people, depending on the dose, will start puking. Yeah.
Which is fine, but then that stops, and then bam, you go. Like, that's it.
So we just have a little bucket here in case
You're not going to throw up, Dad. You drink a lot. Like, your capacity to take specific toxins.
Yeah, but
you'll be high.
Yeah.
Look at all the drugs you're on right now.
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay. Oh man, that's gonna be fun.
So yeah, we encourage all of our Twitch followers, when we do mushrooms, get your own badge. We can all be on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be touching their phone screens.
A Jim Jones thing.
Oh,
Everybody,
that's no joke. Jim Jones.
Jim
Oh,
Jones.
no,
everybody,
no.
let's do mushrooms together. Do you really want that, Rickie?
No.
Yeah. All of a sudden, in the newspapers you don't read, Twitch follower.
Listen,
died of
everyone, we do not
overdose.
encourage anything on here. You do whatever you gotta do on your own time.
We
We're
are
just
not
sharing.
responsible.
Yes, we're just sharing our own
Some families
experience.
will sue
Rewind.
you guys.
Mhm.
She was what? She was only 13 and listening to the podcast.
It's true.
Overdose
It's
on
true.
mushrooms.
There's no history of a mushroom.
Don't put this on
overdose.
YouTube. Make sure you cut this part off. That's true though too. But still, we want to be careful.
Yes. Yes.
All
we
right.
do.
Are we wrapping this baby up?
We are. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
guys were the
Twitch.
best.
You guys are
Vinny,
beautiful.
there's the other Vinny right here. We have
Oh,
an
yeah.
awesome follower, Vinny Code.
We
He
love him.
supports everybody on Rose City Sound.
Yes.
Vinny, here's my real Vinny in real life.
Hey, this is other Vinny.
There is another Vinny, and that's what I
Forget
say.
about it.
Vinny.